Lewis Miley. Lewis Miley.
Real appeal from Asuna. Oh, what a strike that is!
A cross and a header is in! Lewis Miley has got there!
Lewis Miley hits one and scores! Lewis Miley, big chance! Lewis Miley! Oh, yes! Oh, they've got it! And it's Lewis Miley!
Dodging its way through! Lewis Miley! It's the moment he would have dreamt of!
Desperate to be like my heroes on that pitch. I think about it for hours and hours.
The 2022-23 season was the year Lewis Miley transformed from a promising academy prospect into a record-breaking professional. It was a campaign defined by a steady, quiet climb through the ranks, one that ultimately saw his name etched into the history books of Newcastle United. Lewis began the season as a standout figure in the club's youth setup, splitting his time between the under-18 and the under-21 squads. Despite being just 16 for most of the year, his technical quality and exceptional football brain made him appear far more advanced than his peers. In November 2022, his progress was formally recognized when he won the Jack Hickson Award, a prestigious honor given to Newcastle's most promising youngster, previously claimed by the likes of Andy Carroll and Freddie Woodman. The real turning point arrived in December 2022. With the Premier League paused for the World Cup, Newcastle traveled to Saudi Arabia for the Diriyah Season Cup, and Miley was included in the senior squad. He made his non-competitive first-team debut in a 5-0 win over Al Hilal, lining up alongside established stars such as Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton. Crucially, he didn't look out of place. The experience gave Eddie Howe a first-hand look at Miley's composure and maturity, leading to his first appearance on a Premier League matchday bench in February 2023 against AFC Bournemouth. May 1st, 2023, marked one of the most significant moments of Miley's young life. On his 17th birthday, he signed his first professional contract with Newcastle United, a dream realized for the Stanley-born midfielder who had been at the club since the age of 7. By this point, his stock was so high that Newcastle made the rare decision to withdraw him from the England under-17 squad for the European Championships. The club believed he was more valuable to their first-team push for Champions League qualification than to the national youth setup. A remarkable vote of confidence from Eddie Howe. The season reached its climax on the final day of the Premier League campaign. On May 28, 2023, at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea, Lewis Miley made history. Introduced in the 76th minute for Elliot Anderson, he became Newcastle United's youngest ever Premier League debutant, aged just 17 years and 27 days. He almost crowned the occasion with a fairy tale moment, unleashing a powerful strike that crashed against the crossbar, leaving the travelling supporters in awe of the teenager's fearlessness. The 2022-23 season ended with Newcastle United qualifying for the Champions League, and with Lewis Miley established as the crown jewel of the academy. He had started the year playing in front of a few hundred spectators in youth matches, and finished it competing at one of the most iconic stadiums in world football, perfectly setting the stage for his explosive breakout the following season. If the 2022-23 season was the introduction, the 2023-24 campaign was the explosion. Lewis Miley didn't just participate. He became an essential pillar of a Newcastle United side competing on the world's biggest stages. It was the year he stopped being the kid from the academy and started becoming one of the first names on Eddie Howe's team sheet. The season began with Newcastle facing a daunting midfield crisis. A long-term suspension for marquee signing Sandro Tonali, combined with a relentless wave of injuries to senior figures such as Joe Willock and Sean Longstaff, left Eddie Howe with a defining choice: dip into the transfer market or place his trust in a teenager. Howe chose the latter. Miley was thrust into the starting lineup for a brutal run of fixtures, facing Chelsea, Manchester United, and Paris Saint-Germain within the space of weeks. Rather than being overwhelmed, his trademark icy composure emerged. At just 17, he played with a maturity far beyond his years, often appearing like the calmest figure in stadiums packed with over 50,000 roaring supporters. The milestones arrived quickly in late 2023. On November 25th, during a commanding 4-1 win over Chelsea, Miley became the youngest player in Newcastle United history to register a Premier League assist, threading a perfectly weighted pass through to Alexander Isak. His truly iconic moment followed on December 16th against Fulham. In front of a raucous Gallowgate end, Miley swept home a low finish to become the club's youngest ever Premier League goalscorer. The sight of the local lad sliding on his knees in celebration instantly became one of the defining images of the season for the Magpies faithful. Miley's rise was not confined to domestic football. He carried his confidence into the Champions League's infamous Group of Death. In December 2023, during a high-stakes encounter with AC Milan, he made history once again. By setting up Joelinton for the opening goal, Miley became the youngest player ever to provide a Champions League assist for an English club, surpassing records previously held by names such as Theo Walcott. Whether lining up against Kylian Mbappe in Paris or dictating the tempo at the San Siro, Miley consistently demonstrated that he belonged at the very highest level of European football. Newcastle moved swiftly to secure his future. In January 2024, Miley signed a new long-term contract running through to 2029, underlining the club's intention to build their next era around him. However, the demands of elite football soon caught up with the teenager. After featuring in nearly 30 senior matches, Miley suffered a lower back injury while on international duty with England in March 2024. With his long-term development in mind, Eddie Howe made the difficult but necessary decision to shut him down for the remainder of the season, prioritizing his health over short-term gains. The 2023-24 season concluded with Lewis Miley firmly established as one of the brightest young talents in English football. He finished the campaign with 26 appearances, a string of broken records, and the unwavering respect of Newcastle supporters, who now see him as the heartbeat of the club's next generation. The 2024-25 season for Lewis Miley was a test of character and resilience. If the previous year was a dreamlike ascent, this was the season in which he had to navigate the harsh realities of professional football, injuries, recovery, and the fight to reclaim his place in a world-class squad. The season began with a frustrating blow. After ending the previous campaign early with a back injury, Miley suffered a freak accident during off-season training in July 2024, breaking a metatarsal in his foot. This second consecutive injury was a massive disappointment for both the player and the fans, forcing him to miss the entire preseason and the opening months of the Premier League. For a teenager who had become accustomed to playing every week, the mental toll was just as significant as the physical one. Miley spent the first half of the season in the treatment room, but he did not waste the time. He used the extended recovery period to focus on his physical development, working extensively in the gym to build the Premier League frame required for a central midfielder. By the time he returned to training in October 2024, he looked visibly stronger and more robust. Eddie Howe noted that Miley came back with a clear head and a physique better equipped than ever to handle the physical demands of the English game. His return to the pitch was managed with extreme care. Miley was gradually reintroduced through substitute appearances in late autumn, making his competitive return in November. Despite increased competition for places, with Sandro Tonali back from suspension and Joe Willock fit again, his natural talent quickly shone through. By January 2025, he had re-entered the starting rotation, proving that his football IQ had not dimmed during his time away. He played a vital role in Newcastle's cup runs, including a standout performance in the FA Cup third round against Bromley, where he scored a crucial goal. As the season progressed, Miley began to showcase a new level of versatility. No longer just a technical playmaker, he appeared in multiple roles, even filling in at right back during a defensive crisis against Crystal Palace, where he remarkably provided an assist. He finished the campaign with 22 appearances across all competitions, a total that seemed impossible back in August. More importantly, he ended the season with his first major silverware, as Newcastle United triumphed in the 2025 League Cup, delivering the club's first major trophy in decades. Lewis Miley ended the 2024-25 campaign not just as a wonderkid, but as a battle-hardened professional, one who had overcome adversity and played his part in bringing silverware back to Tyneside. The 2025-26 season, which we are in the middle of right now, has been the year Lewis Miley proved he is more than just a talented teenager. He has become Newcastle United's Swiss Army knife and a burgeoning European star. The first half of the season was shaped by a severe defensive injury crisis at St. James's Park. With both Kieran Trippier and Tino Livramento sidelined, Eddie Howe made a bold tactical gamble, deploying Miley as an inverted right back and wing back. While most 19-year-olds would struggle with such a dramatic positional shift, Miley excelled. His performances were so accomplished that even when the senior defenders returned to fitness in late 2025, he retained his place in the side. Club legend Alan Shearer described Miley's display against Crystal Palace as superb, praising his ability to nullify attackers while seamlessly drifting into midfield to control the tempo of the game. Miley's most iconic moment of the season arrived on the European stage. On December 10, 2025, in a high-stakes Champions League clash against Bayer Leverkusen, he was introduced from the bench to replace Joelinton. Just 14 minutes later, Miley rose above the Leverkusen defense to head home a cross from Anthony Gordon. The goal made him Newcastle United's youngest ever goalscorer in the Champions League, adding yet another record to his growing collection. It was a moment that nearly secured Newcastle's progression to the knockout stages, although the match ultimately finished in a dramatic 2-2 draw. As of January 2026, Lewis Miley has established himself as one of the most versatile and dependable players in the Premier League. He has successfully operated across central midfield, defensive midfield, and on the right flank, all while maintaining an elite passing accuracy and contributing decisively in both domestic and European competition. He has already found the net in the Premier League and the Champions League this season, and his performances have earned widespread recognition, including being voted Player of the Match by supporters following Newcastle's 2-0 win over Crystal Palace earlier this month. Lewis Miley delivered an outstanding performance in that match, grabbing an assist and recording a remarkable 100% passing accuracy, before following it up by playing a key role in Newcastle's victory over Leeds after Fabian Schär's injury, even excelling at centre-back, a position he'd barely played, and made it look natural. Reading danger early, stepping into tackles, building from the back like a veteran defender. His impact and versatility was duly recognised as he was officially named Newcastle United's Player of the Month for December. By the start of 2026, the narrative surrounding Miley has shifted decisively. He is no longer spoken of as a prospect, but as a generational talent. With England's senior side preparing for upcoming international windows, pressure is mounting on the national setup to hand Miley his first full cap. At Newcastle, he has become the vital link between defence and attack, frequently leading the team in touches, passes, recoveries, and progressive carries. In imperious form, he continues to play a central role in Newcastle's push for a top-4 finish and deep runs in the domestic cups. However, in a massive exclusive story, if you would want to know the dark truth of how the best player on the planet sacrificed his career for a single cross, click the video link on the screen now.